So aloha everybody. Welcome to the live stream. And let me know if you can clearly hear my voice. And I will see here. There's a little bit of a delay. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so if you could leave your human design type and your astrology information if you feel called to, that would be awesome. Let me see if there's any comments yet. Great. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So today I want to talk about the Mars squaring the nodes, which is a little warm up for this eclipse season that we're entering, right? So I just did a video, my last live stream. I can't believe it's Friday already. Last Friday I did a live stream on the lunar eclipse that's coming. That's activating the dark night of the soul gate, the 36 gate here. So this is the chart as of September 15th. So in 2 more days. Okay. So this is the transit chart. So in terms of your human design, you want to know your human design type, and you always want to have your natal chart on hand when you're watching my videos, because you'll learn more about your own chart, your natal chart, and you'll also learn a lot more about human design. Okay, so this is September 15th. This will be exact, right? So we're kind of in the energy right now, but it's exact this weekend, right? And then Tuesday, the 17th, that's the lunar eclipse. Okay, so lunar eclipses, just a reminder, they're spiritually, they're very, very impactful, and it's about getting us on our right destiny path, right? So getting us on our destiny path. And Mars squaring the nodes is saying no more playing around, no more fooling around now, right? This means business. So Mars, the nodes, if you notice here, they're the nodes of the moon. So the 17th and the 18th, you see the horseshoe pointing down, that's the north node. And then the south node is the horseshoe pointing upward. So we're moving from the south node to north node. That's the evolutionary process, according to astrology. So we're leaving behind the 18, which is Libra, and then we're embracing Aries. Right? So this is a time, right? This just in itself, this is a time to be more assertive. It's more assertive. The positive aspects of Aries: assertive, independent, right? Bold, brave, courageous, right? Courage. You want to have courage too with Aries. So, I mean, Aries, right, ruled by Mars. This is, shoot first, ask questions later. It's very instinctual, very instinctual. So this is going to be a very intense emotional period for humanity. And perhaps you're already feeling it now, right? So in terms of what to let go of with Libra, this is the people pleasing, right? The people pleasing, the wishy-washy. I don't know, what do you want to do? That kind of thing, right? Not bold enough to stand up for yourself, right? So Aries is saying it's time for you to stand up for yourself. And this is all about our relationships, right? So if you look at I did the astrology chart too, when Mars directly squares the nodes on September 15th. So there's the south node here. And then the north node's down here in Aries. And look who's with it. They're conjunct. They're only a degree apart, right? This is Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith. This is the dark feminine, right? This is the dark feminine in Libra. So there's going to be anger right here. Anger. And also Mars has been in Cancer. Right? So Mars has been in Cancer for a while. It's going to be there until November. And so this is all about repressed anger from the past, right? especially your childhood. If you want to go right to the origins of it, is your childhood. So all this repressed anger will start to release, and you're not going to be able to rely. People are not going to be able to rely on Libra. Well, I'll just talk myself out of my feelings. I'll just be wishy-washy. I'll be passive-aggressive. I'll bitch and complain when no one's around, right? I won't stand up for myself, right? Libra has the reputation as being two-faced. One face to the person in front of them, and then another face behind their back, right? That's the shadow of Libra. So we're letting all this go, So with Lilith there, we're getting all this help, right? Although it may not seem like it at the time, because it's painful, it's uncomfortable to especially for people on the spiritual path, to deal with these negative emotions. So this is a time to be in your center, in your core, in your power, right? So let's go back here, and we'll talk about the human design. So there's the sun, right? Because it's so close to the eclipse. Eclipse is only 2 days later, right? This is like the warm-up, the Mars squaring the nodes. And I talked about the sixth gate, the gate of conflict, right? The 6. And then 36 is activating the Earth for the lunar eclipse, right there. So it's there now. And the moon, of course, is in the 30, right? It's moving its way to the 36, which is Pisces, right? So this is all about completion, but it's all about our relationships, This Aries Libra axis. We're in there until January, just before the human design new year, which is usually around January 22nd, 21st, when the sun moves into the 41st gate, right? So the moon is in Aquarius, which is good. That's like one blessing there, is we're going to have a little bit of detachment. So let's talk about these numbers, right? So there's Mars in the 52, okay, right? The 52.3. I did a whole thing on Mars square the nodes tarot. Let's see. Hopefully oh, good. Yay. Okay, back to here. Okay, so 17.3 is the north node, and there's the 17 up here. There's the 18 that we're letting go of here. So take note, if you have any of these numbers in your natal chart, you're going to align with them. I have the 17 in a prominent position, the 17 myself. And then we've got Mars down here, 52.3, right there, 52.3. So 52.3 is squaring these here. So what does this mean? This is our karmic axis, so there's going to be a tension. We're all going to feel this tension, right? And it's around our relationships, So there's a song that I was rattling in my head this morning after my sadhana. You may know of it by Fatboy Slim from the 90s, 98, 99, something around that time. Right here, right now, right here, right now. Waking up and I realized, and I learned that your love's not real. That's the song. Those are the lyrics. There's only the only lyrics in it. But anyway, so perfect for this transit is that song. So if you go listen to it by Fatboy Slim, right here, right now. So right here, right now is this 52, right? So let's look at this. So this is another way for you to understand these transits, right? So right here, right now, this is the 52. Mars is in the 52, right? And this is the gift of restraint, right? It's the gate of stillness. It's the gate of stillness here. And isn't it interesting? It's in the Mars position, because you always think of Mars as like action, action, action. And then it's squaring the 17, right? And then the 18 down here. So it's squaring these two here. So this is what correlates these tarot cards correlate to these numbers. These weren't picked intuitively. There's a whole system about how the tarot relates to a certain decan and a zodiac sign, depending upon its degrees. And these are, I think it's two, what is it? You can see the degrees here, 6 degrees, right? 6 degrees, and there's Mars, 6 degrees. So 6 degrees represents Virgo. That's a Virgo degree. So that's another way of looking at it too, right? It's a Virgo degree. And we're in the sign of Virgo. The sun is in the sign of Virgo right now. So this is all about details. It's about being here and now. Virgo doesn't play. Virgo is very practical. It's an earth sign, right? So it's to be here now. To be here now. That's what Virgo wants, and wants you to notice the details. Notice the details. Right? So there's Mars activating these two. So let's talk about the numbers here. So the 52 is the gate of stillness. So if you have this 52 natally, right, you're going to be very good at focusing, right, and keeping still. And this is the Buddha gate. The Buddha gate means that I'm able to not control, but I'm able to not be reactionary, right, to my body, the restlessness of my body or my senses, like most people are that don't have this, right? So they can't sit still. They're restless. So this energy is focused, right? So to use this energy, this is the root chakra, coming from the root chakra. You can use this energy to concentrate. Right? I have this. I can concentrate till the cows come home. I can sit still for long periods of time. My body doesn't get restless like that, right? But if you've got nothing to concentrate on, then you can become depressed because you can feel this tension, right? This tension. So this is not about doing. This gate is not about doing. It's about keeping still, keeping still. So focusing, right? So it's saying to focus. Now, if we look at the 52, you'll notice that it's in the third line. If we go back, do you see? It's in the third line there, right? It's in the third line, and so are the nodes, 0.3. So that gives us even more information about this energy, right? So the 52.3, this is about controls. It's the keynote of controls, it's called. And what does that mean? That there's an external force that forces you to sit still. So we may be experiencing that with this Mars, activating the nodal axis, right? So it's an external enforcement of inaction. So it's being restrained by outside forces. So this could be, I go out to drive my car somewhere. Maybe I'm used to being busy and I don't spend enough time on my own in solitude, and I have to have every minute of my day accounted for. The generators, manifesting generators, this is their sandbox right here. Busy, 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 do, right? Well, how the 52.3 would work is I go out to start my car and I can't move. There's something wrong, right? My battery is dead, or I have a flat tire or something. And this would be an example of the external force of life or the universe to stop you. It's about stopping you so that you can see something, right? The 17 is about seeing something really important for you to see in your life. So if you have if you've got the 52.3 natally, these are the people that end up locked up, right? They'll be locked up somewhere. They're isolated somewhere where they're living, or people with the 52.3 can end up in prison. It's like an outside force that's stopping them. It's stopping them. And so the bonus of this is like that it's necessary on the journey, according to their design, right? So this is necessary for us as a collective, is to stop and to restrain, restrain ourselves. So it can happen through outside forces. So just be aware of that, because it's ensuring that you reflect. Because remember, this is a third line. And you know, if you have a third line profile, then you learn through trial and error. If you're a sixth line, those first 30 years are about learning through trial and error, right? So this is very material. The third line rules the material realm. So it's going to be something that's going to happen on the external. It won't be an internal process, right? Okay. So there can be a lot of resistance with this gate at being restrained. So I'm just giving you the heads up if this happens. I do this in my life. I don't do lineups. If I see a lineup somewhere, that's the universe telling me, no, this isn't for you, and you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be somewhere else, right? So you want to look at it like that. If there's this outside force that Michael was talking about, well, it's getting you to stop. That's the lesson, is to stop, because the universe wants you to see something, and it's around your relationships, right? Okay, so there's the 52. And so let's start with the self node, what you're letting go of. Remember, you're letting go of. So there's a tension here between these two, right? So these are programming partners. This is the 17, and there's the 18. And the 17 is coming off the ajna, or our mind, personal mind. And then the 18 is our spleen, our splenic awareness system, right? So our physical well-being. This is our survival, right? Survival issues come from this here. This is anxiety, right? Anxiety and fear and things like that. That comes the ajna, right? Comes from the ajna. So the 18, right there, the 18. This is seeing something wrong. Something's wrong. Something needs to be fixed. Something needs to be fixed with this 18. So driven to fix, right? Driven to correct. Because the whole channel is the 18. You can't see the 58 here on the bottom here. That's the correct what is spoiled, right? This channel is all about that. It's all about that. So driven to correct imperfections and weakness, right? So this is, if the correction's not going, and it can bring a sense, if the correction is not going to bring a sense of value, it's about letting it go. So this is what this energy is saying here, is what have you been trying to fix in your relationships? What have you been trying to fix? It's way past its expiry date, right? It's like a carton of milk. It's past its expiry date. It's already spoiled. It's already sour. But this energy is like, no, I've got to fix it. I have to fix it. I have to fix it. This is finally Mars squaring the nodes, is the recognition like, no, I can't fix this. I can't fix this person. I have to let it go. I have to walk away. It's not a good use of my energy. And Mars is going to release you from this energy, right? So this is a discomfort, right? There's a real discomfort with this energy. But again, it's about letting go, And then if we look at the number, because we're looking at 18.3, remember, they're all threes. This is the zealot. This is obsession. I'm obsessed with fixing this relationship. I'm obsessed with fixing this person. I'm going to try to make it perfect, right? The 18.3 is I have to make it perfect. It's an obsession, right? So it's overly focused on another person, needing to fix that person, and also needing to fix yourself, right? People that have this natally, they know exactly what I'm talking about, right? This is like, I need to be perfect. I need to be perfect, right? This is like if we go to the extreme, like the abused wife, the beaten wife, by her, right? In the mentality of that wife as well. I made him do it, and right, I just have to be better. I have to be better at this in this relationship. I just have to do this. I have to do that. And it becomes an obsession. There's no time for self-reflection here with the 18, right? Because it's so instinctual. It's about your survival, right? It's about your survival here, right? So, but Mars is making you stop and to see these patterns, right? So there can be a real fear of authority with the 18, right? A real fear of authority. And this is a major theme. That's why I'm doing this inner child, the inner teen. We're focused on the inner teen with this online retreat. This is one of the telltale signs right here, fearing authority. This is when this teen takes over, right? We feel like, no, I already grew up. I'm an adult now. I'm 40-some years old. I'm way past my teenage years. No, that teen never grows up. That teen is an entity inside you, just like your inner child, right? The younger version of you is still inside you. Is it still inside you? And how you know that the teen has taken over is you have this fear of authority. So this could be the fear of your boss. Could be a fear of the police. Anyone you perceive as having power over you. This could be a fear of your partner because you put your partner on a pedestal. They're your authority. I go to him. I go to her. They tell me what to do. I don't take any responsibility, right? This is all being let go of now, this fear of authority. Right? So anything, like I said in my meme this week, right? One of my memes this week is that anything not rooted in truth, in love, like real love, right, is going to collapse. This fear of authority, right? Fear of survival, right here, that's not true. That's not true at all. That's completely a false relationship. It's not built on truth and love at all, right? And most relationships are built on this, right? That tribal, this isn't tribal energy that I'm talking about, but just in general, relationships are built on that bargain, right? You do this for me, I do that for you. So that's all collapsing. So this 18.3, right, is about this obsession, right, with fixing this other person. And this fear of authority, fear of standing up for yourself. I'm making my own decisions now, right? Okay, so there's the 18. So that's what letting go of. You want to let go of these dynamics here. I'll go into the tarot in a second. And then there's the 17, the ajna, right? And that's also a 17.3. So the 17, as I said, I have this natally. This is the Aquarian teacher. The 17 is the Aquarian teacher. The 11 is the Piscean teacher. The 11 is all about beliefs, right? You got to believe this. You have to believe that. 17 is completely different, right? It's a different energy. So 17 is like, where do I belong? Where do I belong on this earth plane? Where do I belong? What community do I belong? What place of living do I belong? What people do I belong with? What partner do I belong with? This is the 17. This is part of organizing people, right? Organizing people. So it's called the gate of opinion, but it's opinions that are based in the details, right? So I have an opinion about my relationship. Right? Let's bring it back to the 18. I have an opinion about my relationship. Okay, so maybe the opinion is we're in a loving relationship. We're in a loving relationship. Right? So that's the opinion. Can you back this up with facts, the details? Okay, so here's an example. Well, when I talk about my interests and my passions, well, my partner turns it back to him. It's all about him and his interests and his passions, right? You try to express yourself, assert yourself, right, about what you're really interested in and what you value. And the details are totally belying that I'm in a loving relationship. This is a conditional relationship, That's what love is on this planet. It's emotional love, and that's conditional love, right? So the details, you have to look at the details. What are the details? Does my partner listen to me? Does my partner support me in my own interests and my own passions? Or is it all about him or her, right? So it's noticing what the details are like. Look at their actions, right? So do you see Mars is getting you to stop and to see this in truth, right? Right here, right now, right here, right now. Woke up and I realized that your love isn't real, right? That your love isn't real. It comes with a lot of conditions, a lot of conditions. And that's how you know you're in a healthy relationship, is that person wants you to be them. That person that you're with wants you to be your authentic self. Doesn't want to tell you what to do. Doesn't want you to use you, right? Use you. You're using, remember with the ego, how the ego sees people. They either see them as an ally, you're going to help me get what I want, or you're a threat and you're an obstacle to me getting what I want, right? So a lot of relationships are built on this. You're going to help me get what I want, right? That's not love. That's conditional. It's all conditional. It's not real. So with the 17 is about farsightedness, right? So looking into the future. This is what Mars wants you to do now, to release. Okay. So it's noticing the small things. That's what 17.3 says, is you're going to start to notice the small things. And it's called the keynote of understanding, and it's about the awareness that the best road is not necessarily the glamorous. It's not getting caught up in the ego. Well, this partner that I have gives me this glamorous lifestyle, right? Maybe my partner's got all the money, right? Got all the money, he's paying for everything. It's holding the purse strings, right? It's like, look at me. It's all ego-based. This is conditional. This is all conditional love, right? It's not real. We have to let go of it. So letting go of this glamour, start listening to your soul, right? Not your ego. So this is about really looking in truth in your relationships right now, because we are, like I said in the last video, we're choosing timelines right now. We're choosing timelines. People are making their choices right now. And the fence sitters have to start making their choices, because that fence is going to go after this eclipse. There's not going to be any fence, right? So that this is like your decision will be made for you, right? It won't be an empowered decision. Okay, so if we go into the cards, so Mars in the 52 in the 6th degree, that correlates to the Two of Cups. That's all about relationships right here, Two of Cups. These are equal relationship. They're equally giving their cup. There's no you do this for me, I do that for you. Tribal nonsense. We're letting all that go in our relationships. This is an equal relationship. These are the soulmates. The soulmate relationships are these Two of Cups. So if we break down the Two of Cups, which is Venus, right? Venus and Cancer. Then we look at the major arcanas that go with them, right? So there's the Chariot. I'm getting ready. Here's Mars in the 52 saying, I'm getting in my car. I'm turning the ignition. I'm not going yet, but I'm getting prepared. I'm in the car. Ready to move forward in my life. But look who I'm with. I'm with the Empress. This is like unconditional love. This is like the most love in the tarot, is this Empress card, the Empress card. This is the divine feminine. This is self-love. This is total self-love. This is like when you really love yourself, you don't put up with nonsense from other people, right? Because you know how to treat yourself. And if your partner is a Two of Cups, one of those cups, is going to respond to that, right? Respond to the Empress, because this is the divine feminine energy. Doesn't matter if you're male or female form, but the yang must respond to the yin. That's the universal law. So the yang, right, that yang energy, your partner, will respond to you. That's self-love. You won't even have to set a boundary. Do you know? Your aura will do all that communication for you. Right? So this is what Mars wants you to do. It's like, this is what I'm committed to in my relationships. Self-respect, respect, honor, value in my relationships, right? This equality, this real love, this is unconditional love, right? Unconditional love. It's like, I got my cup, here I am, the Empress. I don't need anybody, right? I'm the main course, right? The relationship's the dessert, but the dessert is just a bonus, right? This is the energy that you want to be in, that you're overflowing. Your cup's overflowing, these two, and the two of them have their cups are flowing, overflowing at one another, right? This is the new Aquarian relationship. This is like a whole onto yourself, right? So then it's looking, if we look here, right? This is the Two of Swords. This correlates to Libra, 6 degrees. That's the South Node, Two of Swords. This is about making a choice, right? So Mars isn't playing. Mars is not playing anymore. It's like time to make your choice with the Two of Swords. And you can see here with her, right, and the energy here is the moon in Libra, right? The moon in Libra, that's the energy with the Two of Swords. So that's the High Priestess, is ruled by the moon. And then Libra is justice. And this is all about balance. This is about karmic contracts. The Justice card is about karmic contracts. And these karmic contracts are being ripped now, right? It's time to let go. It's time to let go of these karmic relationships. But you already know the High Priestess. High Priestess knows everything, but she's secretive, right? She likes to keep secrets, right? So this is what's being let go of, right? Secretively, you know. No, there's the expiry date on this relationship has been reached long ago, right? Secretly, you know, but now Mars is stepping in, right? Mars is going to step in. So you want to choose yourself. This is the cross of the sleeping phoenix energy that's coming post 2027. It's like it's time to choose yourself first, right? No more tribal stuff. No more sacrificing yourself for the good of your family and the good of your relationship. And you're worried and fearful about what other people think of you, right? Now it's time to choose you. It's time to be the Empress. It's time to choose you. You first. That's where you start. And that's choosing your soul. I'm choosing my soul, not my ego, right? So things are coming into balance, right? Coming into balance. And then if we go to the 17, so we're moving from the 18 to the 17 here. Well, that's the Two of Wands. That's 6 degrees Aries, right? So the Two of Wands is about planning. It's about farsightedness. This works with the 17, right? The farsightedness is the gift of the 17. I'm looking into the future. I've got the globe. Everything is open to me now. I'm planning. And then it correlates to Mars, which is the Tower card, and then Aries, which is the Emperor. And what's the divine counterpart of the Emperor? The Empress. These two are the divine counterpart. This is our true relationship, not these karmic relationships, is our divine counterpart. This is the Two of Cups, right? This is the divine masculine right here, and this is the divine feminine. These two together, right? And then the Tower is all about a shake-up. It's all about a shake-up, shaking off. If you look at a tree, right? If you shake the tree, the wind comes, a big storm, shakes off all the dead wood, right? Everything that's dead, that's false, that needs to die, that needs to be left behind, that gets shaken away, right? So this energy is the planning, looking forward, looking into the future, right? Where do I belong? Where do I belong? Who's in my life? Who's going to treat me like the Empress, right? Who I'm going to treat as the Emperor. Doesn't matter what form you come in, right? We have both of these energies. So that's the 17, the Mars square the nodes. So it's really a time to look deeply into your relationships and who belongs into your life, because you don't want to be bringing in dead wood into the new. Yeah. And I don't mean to be flippant about relationships. I know what it's like to leave a karmic relationship. It can be very, very painful, right? But you have to remember why you're here. Are you here just to pay bills? Are you here just to have babies and have families? No, you're here to spiritually liberate yourself. You're a spiritual being having human experiences. So it's time to bring your focus back to your soul, right? And to remember why you're here. And that soul purpose, my soul purpose. Why am I here? This is what I have to remember, not to get caught up in these lower frequency karmic energies, right? But it's up to you, right? Because there's the Two of Swords. I mean, you could go kicking and screaming, right? But Mars is going to really, really show you this weekend. So you don't want to unsee what you've seen, right? People do this. I remember this guy telling me, and he was really battling with self-esteem and self-value at that time. And he went to someone's house to go buy something, like a piece of technology. So the guy's like, come on in, right? It was a hard drive. And then he goes, I just have to take this call. So he can overhear this guy talking to his friend. And his friend said, oh yeah, this hard drive is like, so it's not worth anything. I'm just going to unload it on this guy. He could hear him. He could hear him say these things. And he remembered having that choice. Am I going to look away and just pretend and not actually confront him with the truth? It's like I just heard you on the phone saying this is a piece of crap that you just want to unload on me. Or am I going to just, I'll buy it because I have no self-esteem? It's like the universe was testing him. So it's the same thing. Start looking at the details in your relationships. Look at the facts of your relationship. Don't sugarcoat it, right? Right here, right now, right? Look at them. And Mars squaring the node is going to show you. It will show you. Okay. So that's what I have there. And let me just check the comments before we go into the readings. And where is it? Okay. Okay, everybody. Lots of projectors. There's more people on here. You can write it right in the chat if you want to. Late bloomers, yeah. Generation Xers are late bloomers. Okay. Happy Eclipse. Yeah. Okay. Hermes says, I've been seeing a girl whose sun rising in Pluto conjunct my self node. Holy karma. Holy karma. If you look at your synergy chart, right, in astrology, if there's any conjunctions to your self node, that's karma, karma, karma. And if there's nothing going on in the north node, this is to let go, right? So Hermes, this is like she probably had you in a triangle, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So embrace that Empress energy yourself. Yeah. There's other fish in the sea. Okay. Be still and know that I'm God. Why Guru? That's so true. It's right from the Bible. Let go of these relationships that bring up frustration, and right, they're a big distraction. You can't fix these people. You can't, collagen babe, can't fix your relationship with your brother. It's about accepting that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to some cards. And I want to take my time with the cards because I have a contemplative mind. So let's see here. We're going to start off with the with the twin flame. With the twin flames. And so I already did a reading for them. You can't really see it here. Okay. So the twin flames, this is the new spiritual path. The twin flames. So these relationships or connections are all about you awakening. It's all about you becoming awake in this lifetime and to realize the self, So they're really a gift that so many of them are coming to manifestation on the planet right now, because this is helping with the vibration on the planet, the twin flames. So if you watch my video on twin flames, and if you're probably watching this, you already know the steps to the twin flame, but basically they're mirrors of one another, and the mirroring is so intense, right? Like no other relationship or connection, that you're able to access your deepest wounding. So that's why it's so painful, the awakening, because it's really about an ego death, right? These old identities, they have to go. They're not rooted in truth. They're these false identities that you created when you were a child, right? And this is about the teenager self, right? This online retreat. The teenager, right, is all about the developmental stage when you individuate and you become your authentic self, right? With the guidance and support of your caregivers, of your teachers, of your mentors. Most people don't have that because they have caregivers that are also locked into their child. They haven't stepped into their spiritual adulthood yet. So this is a main way to really like access that identity that's false, that's still inside you. And most people are living by their teens. If they're lucky, they're a teenager, but the reaction, right? They react to life. They're not in their power, right? You're not in your power. Okay. So in terms of twin flame, the twin flame brings up all of that stuff, all of the teenage wounding, all of the inner child wounding, all that starts to come up. That was hidden from you. Even in past relationships, no one can make you see your deepest wounding more than a twin flame. And that's why they're so intense. They're intense relationships. So the question that I asked was kind of guidance for this Mars square the nodes and blocks, of course, and what ego is dying, right? So we have this side, we've got the chaser on the left, and then we've got the runner on the right. So these are just words. It's really the polarization of the soul, right? So one soul has a negative charge, one soul has a positive charge, and what it looks like on the 3D realm is one is running and one is chasing, But if we look at these together, and I realize this, if you look at these together, they're really the same. Okay? So if you want to look at like, oh yeah, I can relate to the chaser side for sure, but I can also relate to the runner side too, right? The one thing that really differs with the runner and the chaser, the difference is really the ego, right? Because the soul, the energy, The energy frequency is the same in the twin flames. That's why it's so powerful, because there's that soul recognition. The soul recognizes the soul. And you may not, as a person, may not even know that went on, right? You have no idea. But the fallout of that is everything that's not true, not of that frequency, has to be thrown off. And that's the ego. So the ego is going to be different, right? Because you both have had different upbringings, childhood experiences. That's why there's often a cultural difference too. You're from different countries or different races, different ages. This is what the ego is, what is different, right? The ego is what is different, but not the energy, not the energy. So whatever is false has to be thrown up. So that's what I say to twin flames. It's about purging. What you're doing is you're purging. So if there seems to be a lot of challenges in your life since you met your twin flame, this is what's going on. It's purging. It's throwing. Throwing up. It's like vomiting, right? Vomiting is never pleasurable experience when you're in the middle of throwing up. But afterwards you feel great, right? You feel great. So this is like the vomiting, the purging of not self. That's what's going on with the twin flame journey. So how is the Mars square the nodes going to affect the twin flames? Well, watch the beginning of the video if you haven't already. And we're going to look at what the chaser is fear. So this is the ego dynamic of fear and suppression. Fear and suppression. So letting go of fear for this Mars square the nodes. Letting go of a lot of fear here. Okay, and the dynamic, because the fear and suppression go together, is the ego dynamic of, this is a strategy from our childhood, right? So we've got suppression and we have fear. This is about the ego suppressing or repressing the fear so that you don't feel it, right? So you may be numb to the fear, but the fear is still working, right? Deep within you. It doesn't go away, right? Because it's still inside you. So it's a fact. Fear can affect our thoughts, right? They can fuel our thoughts. We can make our decisions from fear. So if we go back to the relationship dynamic, making your decisions to stay with the karmic. I'm going to stay with that karmic because they look more secure to the ego, right? The ego is like, no, you stay with the karmic. Stay with the karmic relationship. They're steady, right? They're steady, right? They're reliable. They're secure, right? Because it's all about the material. Because the ego is like made up of insecurity. The ego. So that's all it wants is security. I want steady, reliable, I want secure. The ego doesn't want anything to do with spirituality unless it's all in the head. It's all in the mind, and I can talk about concepts and things like that, right? The ego is interested in that, but not real spirituality, because that means that ego has to go, right? So this would be like making your decisions based in fear, right? Listening to those thoughts that are coming from fear. And this is the danger of not doing your inner child work or your emotional work, is you're going to be ruled by fear and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. All your thoughts that are coming from this fear-based. They're not real. They're not real. They're not true, right? So this is what the chaser is letting go of, is the suppression of fear, not listening to this ego dynamic anymore of, oh, you need to suppress your fear. You need to suppress your fear. You allow a space to feel it, right? You feel it. And remember that fear is just a frequency. Look at it neutrally. It's just a frequency moving through me. So just the fact that we have fear here, we're going to have grief. Right? We're going to have grief. So the Mars square the nodes could bring up some grief that's underneath this fear that you're unaware of, Okay? And then the guidance is the 9 of I really like this deck. I just got this deck here. There's a better picture here. This is the Nine of Pentacles, right? So this is self-reliant. So it's to remind yourself, chasers, that you're fine on your own. You're fine on your own. The Nine of Pentacles, she's like if we go back here, the overall reading, remember we got the Empress. The Nine of Pentacles, she's like the Empress in waiting. She's one below the Empress energy, is the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is independent. She loves herself. She's okay on her own. She's fine on her own. She can take care of herself. She can take care of her own financial needs on her own, right? She's, it's not ego-based, right? Like, it's not the ego like I'm an island and I don't need anybody. This is like, no, this is loving yourself, loving yourself. So to focus on this is to love yourself, not go into fear about I need to be in a relationship to survive. That would be old. This is an old tribal consciousness. I won't survive unless I'm in a relationship, right? But just with the suppression card, I just want to say, like, just give yourself, don't make it wrong that you're feeling fear, but it needs to leave your body. It needs to leave your body. And then you've got here, the Four of Cups, right? So this is saying that bring more gratitude in your life. So bring more gratitude in your life. Don't be looking at lack. So the opposite, it's funny, the moon, eh? I just thought of this. There's the moon. When Mars squares the node, it's in the 30, and that's the shadow of desire, right? This is like there's never enough. I want more, 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 more. This is desire. Well, if we go back here, right? The opposite of desire is gratitude. So it's grateful for what's there, what you have already. Maybe your ego is really yearning, because it's the ego that's like really, really yearning for the twin flame, because the ego is like, it's them. They hold the key to everything. It's my twin flame. I'm happy. They're going to bring me happiness. They'll bring this. They'll bring that. That's not the journey, right? That's not the journey at all. So it's about being grateful for what you have already. And that's the opposite of desire. And then, we'll go into the animal cards later. And then if we look at, this is really interesting to me. So this is the runner, the one running away from the connection or running away from their selves, running away from the soul. The runner would be way more into the ego in the material world. So there's that authority figure that I talked about, and perfectionism. So that's what they're letting go of, right? Of whoever they're substituting. Remember, the child self, one of the main traits of a child, a wounded child, is they have a deep fear of authority figures, right? So this could be your partner. This could be your partner that the runner is in relationship with now. Fear of an authority figure. So you're letting that go. You're starting to stand up. The runner's starting to stand up for themselves. They're no longer trying to fit in, right? Doing that South Node Libra thing. Like I just have to fit in. I've got to people please. I got to tell people what they want to hear, right? And I'm no longer looking for love outside of myself. I'm no longer looking out here for love and approval and validation outside of myself. So this is very, very, very positive. And then you got the perfectionist card with it. So trying to be perfect. This is that 18. 18.3, the zealot and the self node, right? I have to be a zealot. I have to fix myself. I have to be perfect for that partner that I projected authority figure on. That gave all my power over to this other person, this relationship that I'm in, right? I have to be perfect. And if you can see it, right? There's the rhino on the treadmill. See? Looking at the unicorn, longing to be the unicorn, right? Not accepting herself as she is. She's a rhino, right? So it's like this is about you embracing. This is the runner is letting this go. I'm embracing myself. I'm not going to mold myself into something that my partner that I put on a pedestal, I think they want, you know? I have to be authentic and true now. I have to be authentic and true. So this can bring extreme criticism. If you've got the 18, then you know this. It can bring extreme self-criticism. So letting this go, and this is all the ego. The ego is telling you this. These are lies the ego is telling you, right? And the message the ego is saying is you're not good enough as you are. You're not good enough as you are. You have to be better. You have to be constantly improving. That's the 18. I have to be constantly improving myself. Right? And it's inadequacy. So it's perfectionism, right? Perfectionism. So perfectionism really goes with procrastination too, just as a side note. That's why people procrastinate, because they've got this, the root of the dynamic is this perfectionism, right? So that's what the runner's letting go of. And chasers, you may relate to this too. Yeah, I totally relate to this dynamic as well, right? Fear and suppressing my fear. I'm afraid of authority figures. I want to be perfect for my partner, right? I'm really self-critical. This leads to distortion, right? That leads to distortion. You're not seeing reality as it is. So then the card here, with this deck, there's two cards that aren't normally in the traditional, like tarot. And this one's called the Artist. It's called the Artist, right? It's called the Artist. So it would go with the Major Arcana, right? So this is like to embrace your creativity, right? As an artist. And what is an artist? An artist makes choices. That's what an artist is. They make choices. They make creative choices in each and every moment, right? So they're not looking for approval outside of themselves. An artist. A true artist is a mirror. That's what I see. A true artist is a mirror. They hold up a mirror through their whatever medium they use. Here, look at yourself, right? I'm showing you, look at yourself. That's what an artist is. A true artist shows a mirror, So that's what this is saying with these Mars square nodes, is the runner has to channel maybe this energy that they've been putting to their partner, this karmic partner that's an authority figure in their life, trying to be perfect. Take that energy and then channel it into art, a creative project, creative process. It could start just with writing, right? So remember that both the runner and the chaser, they're all about, it's about going inward for the two of them, to their soul. That's what has to awaken before they come together in union, right? On the 3D plane, right? So this is all about embracing your creativity. And then you've got the Six of Swords here for more guidance. And this is moving away. It's moving. Six of Swords. This is like I'm moving away. There's rough waters that I've been in. Maybe some rough emotional waters. There's been a lot of conflict. There's been a lot of fighting and arguing, right? I'm moving away now. I'm moving away through my creativity. I'm moving away through my creativity. So maybe the runners feel that they're trapped in this energy. Maybe there's a strong belief system that they're trapped. They can't get out. This energy, Mars square in the nodes, is saying, no, use your creativity, right? Your creativity, you're a creative being. This is your power, runner, to move out of these waters, But creativity, what does that mean? That means you have to open up your heart. A true artist is not a true artist until they open up their heart, because that creative energy moves through the heart, right? This is what's the translator. I talk about this all the time. And the translator of creative energy. Your intuition is your heart. If your heart isn't open, you're getting bad intel. It's gonna filter through the ego, right? And then this is wrong perception. You need your heart open as an artist, right here. Yeah. So that's positive, right? Positive. There's movement here. There's movement here. And then let's look at these cards. So there's the owl right there. The owl. And this is air. This is the air element. You can see the little triangle there. So that's the owl. You can see I love owls. So the owl represents abundance, clairvoyance, treasures. The owl, I'm reading from this because I'm not familiar with this deck, but I felt really called to share. So the owl is a mysterious and outerworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in particular is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi. So that's the Indian goddess of wealth. And she represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears for the runner, it's an omen that a treasure is on the way, either in the spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do, right? So this fits with this artist. And then how it can further serve your dharma, which is your soul purpose, and bring abundance to the world. So runners, if you have a fear of money or lack of money, this is saying don't worry. Focus on your dharma, right? Focus on your soul purpose, which your twin flame, these two are connected in terms of soul purpose. They help each other with their soul purpose. Whatever that looks like, right? Whatever the divine has laid out for them. So when in balance, when the owl energy is in balance, you're generous, you're trusting, and you're secure. When you're out of balance, you fight about money with your karmic partner, and you go into scarcity consciousness. That's when this is out of balance. And to bring it into balance is to offer, make an offering. That means to give, right? To give. Even though maybe you don't, like, I have nothing to give, Michael, I'm so broke. It's like you can give your presence, right? You can give a gift, maybe a skill you have. You can give. And this will bring this energy back into balance for you. Okay. And then the chaser, which I love, is dragonflies. And if you guys know the gene keys, you know dragonflies are huge. They relate to the 55, right? The 55 gate, and that's what's going through mutation for the solar plexus mutation. So this is the master of light, illusion, and the mind. So the dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder and awe. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, and it's always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Is your mind restless or still? There's the 52. Is your mind restless or still? It's the gate of stillness, right? The 52. Dreamlike or crystal clear. The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. So this fear and suppression, this would make your mind cloudy. You wouldn't be clear because this is it's fueling the thoughts of your mind, right? So this is, I can't concentrate. There's the 52 again. When out of balance, I can't concentrate. My mind is too busy. When in balance, I see clearly. I'm joyful and magical. You see, life is joyful and magical. So to bring it into balance, focus on the breath. And isn't that interesting, eh? Because I did all those messages, the memes about the breath. The breath is your anchor. To focus on your breath. Breathe deeply and slowly into your solar plexus. And that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be for this Mars square the nodes. Okay. And just to end it for the twin flames, then the overall energy right there, that's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. This is romance. This is romance. But it's also related to creativity. The Knight of Cups. So this is the overall energy here. And this is about being emotionally connected. That's what romance, the meaning of romance means, is I'm emotionally connected. So maybe during this Mars square nodes, twin flames, is to look at what am I emotionally connected to, right? Am I emotionally connected to this karmic relationship for the runners, right? Or the chasers, you may be in a karmic relationship too, but look at what am I emotionally connected to bring that more into my life, right? So you can be emotionally connected to anything, even a pet, an animal, to friends, family, you can be emotionally connected to. This is like bringing romance back to your life. Music, right? Music awakens this Knight of Cups energy. And then for the ego, what does the ego want? The overall energy, the ego wants you breaking this contract, the twin flame contract. This is reneging on a spiritual contract, because in the spiritual realm, this has already been decided. It was already decided that you would meet. It was already decided where you would meet, when you would meet. That was all decided long, long time ago before you even incarnated. And so the ego wants you to avoid your destiny, wants you to avoid this experience, right? It wants you choosing the material. It wants you choosing materialism. It doesn't want you in the Knight of Cups. It doesn't want you in any of this energy, right? The ego is saying, don't trust your intuition. Don't trust this connection, right? The divine, and here's the divine is trying to reach out to you and send you like signals, signs, repeating numbers, the names, all these weird synchronicities, right? But the ego is like, nah, no, that was just a coincidence, right? So choosing to ignore the signs. And where is this coming from? It's not coming from your soul. It's coming from that ego, because the ego does not want these connections to take place. Does not, because that means the ego is no more. The ego goes extinct. You know, of course, we need a little bit of an ego, meaning that we need our ego to know that we're in this body and that what my name is, basically, just a very, very slim identity, the ego. But we don't need the rest of it. We don't need not self. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for that? That's kind of long, eh? But you know, I edit the twin flames out for a separate video. Okay. So let's go to the, okay. Jessica. Here, somebody left a, okay. Let me just look at these comments. Okay. Jessica says, I'm so grateful to find human design, but I'm so lost at where to keep trying to find a report with info on how my image is. I laugh at this because I've been studying human design since 2005 and I'm still learning, right? You can't get like some weekend cappuccino workshop on human design and know everything. It's a process, but just start with getting your chart first. And then there's lots of stuff on jovianarchive.com, like free stuff. But just, you got to take your time. That's what I learned, right? And yeah, because what's most important is not the knowledge and the information. What's most important is that you apply it and you become your authentic self. It's just a map. That's all it is a map, human design. Okay? Okay. And then we miss so many signs every day. Yeah. Okay. That's great. Okay. So let's go to the where overlays, and we're going to go to the projector. We're going to start off with the projector. So I did a reading for the projector already. Grab some cards here. Okay. So projectors, 20% of the planet, my fellow projectors. Remember that your strategy and operating right now is to wait to be recognized and then to be invited, right? And then go for it. You're to be the guide. You're the new leaders of this new age, right? The projectors. So projectors will be mainly working with MGs and Gs, right? The other thing that's just coming to mind is that for invitation, so you have to wait to be invited by the MGs and the Gs, right? For your guidance, you have to be waited to be invited by the manifestors and the reflectors. But the one thing you don't need an invitation with is a fellow projector. So it's always good to have a projector friend around, because you can just call them up. You can totally tell them what you see, right? You don't need that invitation with a fellow projector. And then you can commiserate, right? And support one another and what it's like to be a projector. Okay, so look at the ego. This is Mars square the nodes projectors. So this is about your relationships, right? And this is a really good one to have for you, this card here. It's a bad one for the ego, though. Look what it's called, Ego Doom. So this means that this Mars square the nodes is showing you that Mars square the nodes is going to help you, and the lunar eclipse energy is going to help you to really let go of a major, major ego identity, right? So an ego trap here. So this card comes from all the hard work you've been doing this year, right? In 2024 with purging, right? The projector's been purging a lot of not self. The projector's been working a lot on their self-value, right? Their self-value, which in self-worth. Okay, and maybe you're getting some recognition now finally for this. So what's the major ego trap identity here? Is to shut down your heart. It's to shut down your heart. And remember, like I said in the twin flame reading, you really need your heart open to translate your intuition, right? Those intuitive messages that are coming through, you need your heart open. Doesn't matter what kind of type, maybe you're a mental projector or self-projector or an emotional projector, right? We all need our hearts open, and that's the heart chakra, right? Needs to be open. So this is a warning where you go into judgment. And isn't this interesting? If we go back to the transit chart, right? The north node is in the 17, the 18 is in the south node. This is the shadow of judgment. This is the shadow of judgment right here. It's to let go of judgment. So the thing to remember is, because you're working with the mind. You're working with the mind here, and what the mind does is judges. It's always judging. You can't stop your mind from judging. It's a tool. Your mind is a tool. And that's what it's duality, right? So it's like looking at this and that and judging all the time. It judges all the time. It's just what it does. What you do as a projector is not identify with the judging thoughts. Just let the mind do what it does, right? And also look at yourself, right? Don't judge yourself. I should be further along now, right? I'm this age now. I should do this and this and this and that. We can't, that's old tribal consciousness, right? The old tribal consciousness is the script that I have to follow. And that means I'm a successful individual if I achieve these milestones, right, along the way. And that's not true. That's a big word for you, is successful. Success for a projector is going to look a lot different than your regular tribal person, right? From the past. It's going to be a lot different. So not to judge yourself, that's what this is saying, that this is blocking you. This is blocking you, and it's to release it. And it has to do with your relationships, right? Your relationships, not judging yourself. I'm not like everybody else. I can't run and go hikes for 10 miles and work, 80 hours a week like my manifesting generator and generator friends and family. Not judging yourself. You're a different breed, right? You're a non-energy type. You work differently. Yeah. So this gets you cold, and then it's wasting your energy. That's projectors are all about efficient use of energy. This is an inefficient use of energy. You don't think that ego needs energy? That ego needs energy. That mind needs energy. The anxiety and the worry and the judgment, you got to feed that. You got to feed that mind and ego, right? That's an inefficient use of your energy, projectors, right? So take that energy back, right? Empower yourself. Start to starve this ego. Stop listening to it, right? Stop listening to it. And I've said this before in other videos. You want to be self-referenced now. This is the cross of the sleeping phoenix. You want to be self-referenced. That means you're looking at your life through your eyes out here. You're not looking at your life through somebody else's eyes and looking at you. That's where you get into trouble. You want to be self-referenced. You define what success means to you as a projector. What does success mean to me? Don't let another person outside of you tell you what success is. Oh, now I'm going to value myself because somebody values me. No, you've got to value yourself. Remember, you got to recognize yourself too before you're recognized. So you define what success is for you. So this is interesting too, that you got the Two of Pentacles. So this is the back and forth. This is juggling and balancing, but it's also stress, right? And that's the shadow of this. Mars, you see Mars is in the 52, it's the shadow of stress. It's the shadow of stress. So it's telling you to restrain here. And that means not to be a manifestor. Don't be initiating. Don't be a generator. Restrain yourself. Wait for the invitation. Wait to be recognized. That's what this is saying here. It's all about balance. It's all about balance. Maybe you need to balance your energy, projectors. Maybe I need to, right? Some days I need a nap. Maybe I need a little power nap, 10, 15-minute nap. And I have energy for this. It's all a balance. This is what this energy is telling you, is to balance yourself. Don't burn yourself out trying to be a generator, right? Balance your energy. Balance your energy with the Two of Pentacles. Yeah. And then you've got the Six of Pentacles, more balance. Look at the scales, right? And the Six of Pentacles is about, right? It's a relationship. Who do I give to? Who am I giving to right now? Mars squaring the node is going to show you who you should not be given to, who don't appreciate you, that don't value you, right? Mars, and you've got to see, right? So you're going to sit still with the 52 and you're going to watch. You're going to watch, right? Who do I give to? So this is really moving into projectors, like really moving into your, this Two of Wands space. This is the 17, like looking into the future. Looking into the future, right? How am I going to give? How am I going to give in the future? Right? Yeah. And who do I give to? And the thing is, projectors, when you stop giving, to the wrong people. The wrong people are not recognizing you. They're not valuing you. What you're doing is you're stopping the people, the real people that are for you. This is the 17. Where do I belong? Where do I belong? Right? Where do I belong? You stop these people from reaching you because they're in the way. They're in the way. So that, to me, it's really about valuing yourself in relationships and finding that sweet spot, right? A lot of balance energy here, right? And the balance is going to be through the heart, your heart. Your heart's going to show you the way. Your heart's going to show you the way. Even the invitation, right? Oh, that lifted my heart. Like, oh, there, I've been recognized. Oh, my heart is open to that, right? I feel passionate about that. So you want to go into that sweet spot of who you give and receive. So maybe you got to learn to receive too, right? As a projector. Maybe you give, but you don't receive, right? So just about balance here. Yeah. Well, you've got to get used to it, right? Because the people are going to start freaking out on this planet. They already have started, and they're going to be looking for us for help, right? So you're going to have to get really, really good at self-care. And remember, the cross of sleeping phoenix is about self first, right? You need to really embrace this self-first theme, right? About taking care of yourself and valuing your energy. Right? You want to help people that value you, that see you, that recognize you. They're the ones you're going to be able to help, not the other ones where you have to go into sacrifice or you're trying to pay off some guilt or shame, right? That's coming from your inner child, your inner teen. No, you want to, this is empowering. This is a win-win for everybody, right? This is a win-win for the ones receiving, right? And the one giving. It's a win-win. Okay, and it's Pentacles, so it's all about getting good with your money, right? So if you have money issues as a projector, you've got self-value issues, self-worth issues, right? So that's also another theme here. Okay, so that's the projector, and let's go to the generators. And I have to do their cards here on the fly. Okay, where's the overlay? Generators. Generators. Okay. We are going to do some cards for the generators, for our generator friends. So just bear with me here. It'll take me a minute to get set up. Okay, you don't want these cards. You want these ones. Another thing to do, generators and the other types that are listening still, is you always want to look at what your ruling planet is up to in the sky. So say you're a Leo, sun, moon, or rising, you want to be looking at the sun, right? And then Mars, just because we're in Mars here, Mars rules Aries, but also rules Scorpio. Mars rules Scorpio. That's the ancient ruler. And Pluto. Pluto rules Scorpio too. So those signs, Aries and Scorpio, are really going to be affected by this Mars squaring the nodes. Okay. And then Jupiter, if you're Sagittarius, if you're Virgo and Gemini, you're going to look at Mercury. If you're Cancer, you're going to look at the Moon. Okay. Pisces, Neptune, and Jupiter, you're going to look at those two. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. So this is for our generator friends, for the Mars squaring the nodes. And what's the guidance for our generator friends? What's the guidance? Should we do this better? So if this doesn't resonate with you generators, be sure to listen to the reflector part, because that's like all the types into one. Okay. So what's some guidance for the generator friends for this Mars squaring the nodes? Right here, right now. Ooh. That's another one for our generator friends. Oh, interesting. And then we'll see the ego. We're going to pick an ego card too. What's the ego that's being cleared? For our generator friends. What's the ego being cleared for our generator friends? Right now. Okay. Okay. This is for the generators. So the ego that you're letting go of is failure. Is failure. Oh, and look at that, eh? So many synchronicities. So you can see here, this is like the exact chart when Mars squares the nodes. And Venus is in the 32. That's the shadow of failure. Shadow of failure. Okay. So you're letting go of that. And maybe it's about, because this is about Mars. Remember, Mars is squaring the nodes. This is about your relationships. So watch the beginning of the video to learn more about this. Right? So this is about your relationships. It's about seeing the truth. Mars wants you to see the truth in your relationships. And it wants to release you from this karmic connection, that's the self node, and embrace you. This is about be self first, right? This is the cross of the sleeping phoenix energy, is putting yourself first. That's Aries. I'm assertive. And Mars wants you to sit still and to restrain yourself and see the truth, see the details in your relationships. See the things you don't want to see, right? And what happens here is failure. That's what the ego says. So this is huge with relationship splits and separations. Is like I felt like a failure in my marriage, right? Anyone who's been divorced can attest to this. This is what comes up. right? In my relationship, maybe my long-term relationship, maybe my relationship with my siblings or my family, I feel like a failure. That's what the ego is telling you. And if you're a third line profile or a sixth line, those first years, you're learning through trial and error. Third line, right? This is, look, 17.3 and 18.3 are bonds made and broken. Bonds made and broken. That's the third. And you have no control over when a bond is made, when a bond is broken, right? That's part of your process. It's about learning. It's about learning. So that's what this is saying here. So it's a belief, it's a deep belief that you're a failure, right? So this is what the ego is telling you, that you're a failure. And maybe it's stopping you, right? Maybe you've known for a while this relationship has ended, it's reached its expiry date, it's not working for me anymore, I'm no longer growing or evolving, it feels like this burden that I'm carrying around. Well, Mars square the nodes is going to really push you out of your complacency, right? Out of your complacency. Because you're avoiding your soul purpose when you do this. So if you're feeling frustrated or angry or depressed, right? That's a sign that you're not operating correctly as a generator and you're not using that generator, life force energy correctly. Right? So if your sacral is saying it's time for you to leave, it's time to break this bond, right? But you're listening to the not self that's saying you're a big failure. This is tribal, right? Tribal. Well, what's going to happen is you're not using your energy correctly and it's going to affect all parts of your life. This would be your health, right? Getting sick a lot, right? Maybe attracting some crazy illness that you can't find any cure for. It can make your finances go down. It can affect all your relationships, your other relationships, your friendships. You can feel exhausted. These are all signs that you're not operating correctly. So look at the cards you got here. You got the Six of Swords. Was that in the major reading? The Six of Swords? I forget. No. Oh, it's in the Twin Flame. If you're in a Twin Flame connection, listen to the Twin Flame, because that was the guidance for the Twin Flames, is to move on out. Move on out. Move on out. And where you're moving to is to the Ten of Cups. Your Ten of Cups. So this is saying this Mars North Node is like, stop listening to the ego saying that you're a failure, and to move on. So moving on, departure, right? Accepting the lessons. This relationship is not supposed to be forever and evermore. Our relationships are not about that now. Not, right? We're moving out of this cross of planning energy. Our relationships are completely different. They're going to be rooted in spirituality, rooted into spirituality now. So it's leaving something behind and moving forward with ease and grace, right? Ease and grace. And if you entered into that relationship correctly, then the separation will be with ease and grace. If you didn't enter that relationship incorrectly, like you entered in as your not self, and that relationship was all based on fear, then it's not going to be so pretty when you leave, right? It won't be so pretty when you leave. Okay. And then you're moving to the Ten of Cups. And this is the lunar eclipse energy. Remember that I did? Watch that video on the lunar eclipse that I did, because that's the 36. This correlates to the lunar eclipse. The moon is activating this 36, and this is the card that goes with it. So this is the moat. I'm moving on. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, perhaps, right? But I'm committed to myself. I'm committed to be that empress. Remember, if you go back here, right? I'm committed to being this empress energy. This is self-love on steroids here. and I'm moving on to my 10 of Cups, right? And that means the relationship that fulfills me, with my true divine counterpart, right? Yeah. So this is happiness, right? Happiness, the rainbows and the cups. It's everything, right? For the generators. So it's time to let go of this failure and to keep your eyes open, right? For the next week, right? Fated events will start to happen. Okay. So let's go to the MGs. The manifesting generators. So this is about Mars squaring the nodes, manifesting generators. And I would suggest to watch the beginning of this video where you get a deeper inside view. And remember the start, like it's all time stamped. So you can go to the very, very start so you don't have to listen to the pre-roll here. Okay, so Mars is squaring the nodes. This is the transit chart. So Mars is in the 52 and it's squaring the north node and the south node. So that's about letting go. And I talked about this so you'll understand better with the tarot what's happening here, right? So basically, MGs, it's all about your relationships. And this is broken down to the Empress. You're in the Chariot, which means you're moving forward, but you're not moving. The Chariot is like, I'm in the car, I got the keys, but I haven't started yet. But I'm ready to move. And I'm moving from this place of self-love. Deep, deep self-love. This is ruled by Venus. To be with my divine counterpart. That's the Emperor and the Empress here. The North Node, this is your North Node, where you're going to. I'm making plans. I'm looking into the future, right? It's all about your relationships and letting go of these karmic relationships, right? Justice is a karmic relationship. It's like letting it go, using your intuition. And your intuition already knows MJs, right? But you're in Mars, and that's the gate of stillness, right? So that's not so easy for the MGs. The MGs like to be busy, 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 busy. But meanwhile, they're missing the details. They're missing details, and that's the 17. North Node is in the 17 right up here. It's saying to look at the details. So the 52 is saying to stop, restrain yourself. And it's 52.3. So that means there'll be an outside force that will restrain you, to stop you, whatever that looks like. It's going to stop you so that you can see the details. You can see the details in your relationships. This is like the lights come on. You finally see that person. Have you ever had that experience? You've been in this relationship and you've got this perception of this person and that they're this and they're that and they really love me and they care about me. And then one day, the lights come on and you see them. You really, really see them. You see them in truth. And everything that you thought is no longer true. No, they don't really love me. No, they don't really care about me. Right? No, 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 no. This is who they are. They're showing me who they are. And it can be a shock. Right? And that's this. If we go back here, there's the Tower. It's going to be a shock. It can be a shock. But what it's doing, this energy, is freeing you up, Mars square the nodes, to get you on your destiny path, right? To get the 17 is like, where do I belong? Who do I belong to, right? Who's my true divine counterpart? What community do I belong to? What place of living do I belong to? That's the 17, right? So it's all positive, and it's a warm-up for the lunar eclipses, just to get you started. So really, this weekend, because this is September 15th, this is exact, is to watch. Don't look away. Look at the details. It's better to know the truth, no matter how painful it is, because it's real. Okay, so I want to pick some cards for the MGs. Manifesting generators. So just bear with me while I shuffle. Okay. Oh, something came up to me about today. That if you've made a promise, and this applies to the manifesting generators, not the generators. And this is the one loophole that you may not hear a lot about with the MGs and the Gs, is that if you made a promise to someone to do something, and then you actually do it as a manifesting generator, right? And you feel depleted, right? You do whatever it is, right? This promise that you've made and you feel depleted and it's like, no, I'm not in the right place. I'm not in the 17 energy. I'm not in the Empress energy at all. I feel like I'm hiding in a sense. I feel like I'm sacrificing. So it will apply to your relationship. Then the thing is, you can step out of it. Now a generator can't. If a generator made a respondent and said, yes, I'll do this, they've got to follow through on that experience. Energetically, they're kind of trapped. But as a manifesting generator, you can step back and you can say, you know what, that really wasn't for me. That wasn't really for me. And you're going to be unscathed in a sense, right? So just think of that if you've made promises. This is the time to let them go, right? Let them go. During the Mars squaring the nodes and then the eclipse. Okay, so what's the MG? What's the MG? What the ego they're letting go of. There we go. My manifesting generator friends. My manifesting generator friends. Okay. And then we'll get some tarot cards too. Okay, what is our manifesting generator friends need to know for this Mars squaring the nodes? Okay, there's one. Oh, yeah. We have more guidance. One more for the MGs. One more for the manifesting generators. Manifesting generators. You got a lot. Oh, I knew you were going to get that one. Okay. So the manifesting generators. Got secrets. Let me know if you're a manifesting generator too, in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Secrets. Secrets. Avoiding your soul purpose. And then you got the Hangman and the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So this is the ego and the Tower. I can't forget the Tower. So a lot of cards for the MGs. Okay. So this fits with the twin flame reading. So maybe some manifesting generators are on a twin flame journey. Remember I talked about this one. This is avoiding your soul purpose. This is ripping up a spiritual contract that you made long ago, even before you incarnated on the twin flame journey. So that's just for the MGs that are twin flames, but it fits with avoiding your soul purpose. Fits with avoiding your soul purpose here. So this is about listening to the ego that's choosing to go on a spiritual vacation. I'm just going to go avoid my soul's destiny. I'm just going to go on a spiritual vacation. I'm going to ignore my soul impulses. Now, our soul is communicating to us all the time, MGs, through our dreams, our intuitions, through our thoughts, right? Through our instincts too, our instincts. Yeah. Right? And this is like, Carl Jung's got a great quote about this, that we'll do anything, no matter how absurd and insane, to avoid our soul purpose, right? To avoid facing our soul mission. And so, what's the other quote? You'll meet your destiny and on the road you take to avoid it. Right? Meaning you can't escape it. You can't escape your destiny because it's inside you. You can't escape it. That's the ego, right? That's the ego. And so there's the secrets. Secrets. So this, because we're looking at relationships, right? So you may be in a relationship where you're avoiding, because remember, we're on timeline shift right now. A timeline shift, right? So that means that there's two timelines in a sense, and that we're at a choice point right now, and that's this Two of Wands in the North Node, the Two of Wands. We're at a choice point here. And the point, right? And it's about making a choice, right? Two of Swords, Two of Wands. And so we're at a choice point of whether we're going to go on that timeline, our soul's destiny, or are we going to follow the ego? Right? Are we going to follow materialism? Are we going to be on that spiritual vacation? Right? Yeah. Okay. And if you look at Jonah, remember Jonah and the whale? Jonah wanted to go on a spiritual vacation too. He ended up getting swallowed by a whale. And they spent 3 days in the darkness of the whale's belly until he realized, like, oh, I gotta follow my soul's destiny, and then God spit it out, right, to do his destiny. So that would fit with this 36, right? This is the dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is am I going to choose this ego, or am I going to choose my soul's destiny? And this is the lunar eclipse is activating this 36, right? So maybe you're in a relationship where one of you is choosing this, right? Because remember, the 18, we're letting go of the 18. It's like, oh, I got to fix my partner. I have to fix my friends and my family and my community. I've got to fix them. The ego wants you overly fixed. Look, you're letting that go. Letting that go. You're embracing you. This is about self first. This is about self first. Right? This is Aries. You're choosing yourself first. You're choosing your soul destiny first. And people have free will. We have that power, right? To have free will choice. That's our choice. It's to align with the soul or align with the ego. That's our free will. So the secrets is not taking accountability, right? It's about not taking accountability. It's about blaming the other, right? Well, I can't fit. I just have to keep trying to fix them, right? This is the zealot, the 18.3. I've got to fix them. I have to fix them. I'm obsessed with fixing them, the other, and then I can think about my soul's destiny, right? So it's not taking accountability that I'm using that other person to avoid my soul's destiny, right? I'm avoiding that other person. I want to be comfortable. This is about complacency. And Mars is like, I'm not playing anymore. Mars is saying, no, I'm stepping in, right? Mars is the tower, right? Squaring the nodes, right? Making you see the truth of what you're doing. All the little games your ego is playing, right? To undermine you. Your ego doesn't want you doing your soul's destiny. Your ego doesn't want you to be your highest and best in this lifetime. Your ego doesn't want you to be your authentic self. Your ego wants you small in that whale, right? Dark, in the darkness of the whale, not showing your light, not doing what you're here to do, right? So you have to remember that you're a spiritual being having human experiences. You're not a human having the occasional spiritual experience. Your spirituality isn't your hobby anymore, right? So I'm talking to the MGs that are on the fence, right? Mars and square the nodes. It's like, get off the goddamn fence, or else I'm going to rip you off the fence. And then you've got to make your choice here. You got to make your choice, right? So there's lies. That's what I see here too with the secrets, that you're living a lie. You're living a lie. And this means to live a lie means to not be your authentic self, right? Not to be your authentic self. Okay. So let's look at the tarot cards here. You've got the Tower, right? So there's the Mars energy. So this is shake up, right? Shake you up. So to lead to transformation, right? So it's transformation. It's change. Great change is coming. Because, the energy now on this planet is not going to allow for people to live in lies and wear masks anymore. That just is not going to be tolerated anymore. So it's to get you out of this hangman energy, right? I'm just hanging around, right? I'm hanging around, just living my human life, right? I'm going to avoid, right? I'm going to avoid. So this is like the shake you MGs out of this, hanging around, being busy. You could be hanging around, being busy. And then this is an opportunity, right? To take your opportunity. So Mars is coming in to shake your relationships up. Going to shake the tree, get rid of the dead wood, get rid of those people that are not aligned with your soul's destiny. Get rid of them, and then provide you with this Page of Pentacles, which is the student, right? And this is loving yourself too, right? The Page of Pentacles. It's new love interests too. It's new opportunities, new career opportunities. Because like I said to the generators, MGs, if you're not using that life force energy correctly, that's a gift for you. This life force energy, and you're living a lie. You're living in secret. You're living in darkness, right? You're trying to just maybe if I stay under the radar, the divine won't notice me, right? I'll get out of this lifetime unscathed, right? This energy is not being used efficiently. And how that affects you, MGs, if you're not using that energy effectively, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be angry, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be apathetic, and it's going to affect every part of your life. It's going to affect your money, it's going to affect your career, your friendships, right? Your family, your loved ones, all of that is affected, right? Because you have to be your authentic self. And to be your authentic self means to use this energy correctly. That's correct for you, right? Yeah. What else for the MGs? So that's what I would suggest, MGs, is listen to the beginning of this video if you haven't already. And be still, right? And to watch 17, 18. This is about your future, right? The 17 is about looking well into the future. And the choices you make now are going to really affect your life in the future. Yeah. Okay. And we need more awake generators and manifesting generators. Like I said, Ross said this in Human Design. He said no changes will happen until the manifesting generators and the generators wake up, you know? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the manifestors. Okay. Okay, manifestors. I'm going to pick some cards. It's getting late here. Guidance for the manifestors. Okay. What do we have for the manifestors? What guidance do we have for the manifestors? I think you got that card last time too. Okay. And then let's do one more card. Okay. What's the ego card for the manifestors, please? Okay, great. Okay. So, the manifestors got the roles card. This has to do with childhood roles. What's stopping you? And then you've got the King of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Lover's card here. Okay. So, what you're to let go of, what I see here with Mars squaring the nodes, is you're letting go of childhood roles, a childhood role that's affecting your relationships. And like I said, with the, this online retreat is the inner teen. We have the inner child, but we also have the inner teen, which is part of the child self. And what happens is we get locked into roles because we have to. We're children. We have to survive. So we fall into these roles. But the problem is these roles follow us into adulthood. These roles follow us into adulthood, and it's not self. They're not self. So Mars square the nodes is going to shake this away, shake this childhood role that you've been in your relationships. So it's a false personality. Okay. So then you've got the King of Swords. So this would be your father, manifestors. I would look at your father or a father figure, Because even your mother can be, can flip. That the father was more the nurturer in your family, and then the mother was more of the father energy. So to look at that, but somebody who is cold, right? Not in their heart, analytical, right? Totally in their mind. Totally in their mind. I would look at that. Disciplinarian. Yeah. Right? Just the sword. And the reverse of the King of Swords can be controlling, like a controlling figure, oppressive, cold, ruthless, dishonest, right? This King of Swords energy. Because you're letting go of air. I want to talk about that, right? Libra is the air element. And this is an air sign. Swords are air signs. And you're embracing fire. That's Aries, the 17.3. So this is about your future. So maybe some role that you've played in your family dynamic, but it was like you're seeking your father's approval, right? You can seek your father's approval or a male approval, right? So that would be no heart. That would be no Empress energy, right? So watch the beginning of my video to learn more about this, because this is what you're embracing is the Empress, ruled by Venus. It's earthy. It's self-love, right? And then you're meeting your true divine counterpart, which is the Emperor on the other side, manifestors. So maybe you've taken on these qualities, your childhood role of these qualities of like, I'm cold. See, as children, we'll internalize our parent, right? So maybe you're cold and you're analytical. You're not warm and fuzzy. Your heart's closed, basically, right? Here. And so the guidance here is you got to make a choice, because the Lovers can also mean choice. Make a choice in your relationships to do it a different way. Right? So maybe look at, right, the 52 is about stopping and seeing these dynamics in your relationship, because maybe you married your father. We often do that. We marry our parents, one of our parents, or a mixture of our parents. And maybe your partner is like this, or you're like this with your partner. But it's a role, and it has to go, this role. The role is I'm not emotional. I'm rational. I'm together. I'm stable, right? That's the role that you have to let go of, because it's not authentic to you. That's what I see. Yeah. So it brings you in to true union, right? True union, especially if you're single, right? So it'll bring you in your divine counterpart here. And that's your Emperor or Empress come together. Okay. And then the friendship, the Three of Cups card, Mercury in Cancer. Okay. It's saying to have more fun. That's what I see. Right? Just to have more fun. So as you shift more into this Three of Cups, it's like a celebration, it's friendship, social events and gatherings, and I'm having more fun. I'm not in this role anymore, because there's nobody hanging out with the King of Swords. King of Swords is all alone, right? These two have people, manifestors, right? There's your lovers and there's your friends, and you're celebrating together. So maybe you're feeling isolated and alone. Well, you're going to see why, right? You're going to see why. Because the manifestors can feel alone anyway because of their close and repelling aura, right? So that's what it says, is like to be more social, in group events, and be more in your heart, and just to look at that like, wow, that's my not self. That's not who I am, right? Yeah, this King of Swords. Because remember, you've got a big fear of these manifestors. They have a big fear of rejection. That's one of their biggest fears as a manifestor, and they fear that their initiations won't be received by others, that they're sharing and informing won't be received by others. Yeah. So that's what I see. It's like just open up your heart with this Mars square the nodes. Okay. Let's go for the reflectors to finish it off. Okay. So let's see. Where should we go for the reflectors? Okay, what do we have for our reflector friends? In all types. Okay. So let me know if you're a reflector, because you're so rare. And like I said, this is really a reading for all the types. More choices. Let's do one. What's the guidance for the reflectors, please? What do we got for the reflectors? Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay, this is for the reflectors and all the other types too, right? So you got the Who's Your Daddy card. Who's your daddy? And this is all about you can only serve one master, right? So it's basically what I said with the, I forget I think the MGs, right? We're either choosing the ego or we're choosing our soul. It's that easy. In each and every moment, you're either choosing the ego or the soul. So this is about the dark night of the soul, right? So that's the 36th. That's the lunar eclipse on the 17th. And I did a video on that if you want to go back and see it, right? This is the dark night of the soul. And this is ultimately we choose the ego or we choose the soul. That's our choice point, right? We're moving into different timelines now, and this is about our relationships. Some of our people in our relationship circle, they're going to choose their ego. They're going to choose materialism, right? They're going to choose not to do their soul's journey, basically. And then others will choose the soul. These are the ones you want to be with, reflectors, are the ones that are choosing the soul. Right? So with this 52, Mars squaring the nodes, it's asking you to keep still and to watch, right? Because this is a major tree shaking. Right? The dead wood is going to come down. Those people that are not interested in moving forward on their spiritual journey, they're not interested in doing their inner work, their shadow work, or their inner child work. They're going to fall and you're going to be able to see it. You're able to see it clearly. And then you got to choose. You got to choose. Yeah. So it's a test of faith, right? It doesn't take faith to choose the ego. Everything around you is created by mind and ego that we see in the world. It's not a test of faith. This is like the safe way. Right? The safe journey to take is like, I'm just going to choose the ego like everybody else. But in the spiritual world, this is like the most dangerous choice you can make is to follow your ego. Because this is to follow your not self, which isn't true. It's not true. Right? So then the cards you got are really interesting. You got the Empress card right there. And you've got the Ace of Wands here. So in terms of your relationships, right? Because look back here, this is Mars. These are the Mars cards. This is Two of Cups. This is your soulmate, basically. Mars, right? Which breaks down to Cancer. Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer. And so Venus is the Empress, right? That's the divine feminine, right? So the divine feminine is in the car, hasn't taken the keys out for the ignition. She's waiting, right? So this is about making your choice from love, from deep, deep self-love. To this, the North Node is what you want to embrace, and the South Node is what you're letting go of. And look at who's in the North Node. These are divine counterparts, the Empress, the Emperor, and the Empress. This is the divine masculine, and that's the divine feminine, right? But it comes with a Tower moment, which is like shaking things that are no longer aligned with that energy, right? And that you're looking into the future. The 17 is the gift of farsightedness, right? So I find that interesting. You got that card, the Empress, and the Ace of Wands. So it's about claiming this, claiming your divine feminine. It doesn't matter if you're in a male form or a female form, right? We both have all those energies. And so this is creativity, right? It's nurturance, it's manifestation, deeply, deeply creative, right? The Empress energy with the Ace of Wands, which is inspiration. It's inspiration. It's a creative spark, right? It's enthusiasm. It's passion. So this is also wanting passion in your relationship, right? So this is very passionate, Ace of Wands, very passionate, very sexual. It's one of the sexual cards, is wanting this in your relationships, wanting to be treated like the Empress, wanting to treat your partner like the Emperor. Doesn't matter again, right? We're just talking about polarity, the soul's polarity. So that's for you with this. So it's about going through this dark night of the soul, reflectors and all types, and choosing your soul, no matter how bleak it looks. Remember, we've got Pluto is still in the 60. It's still in Capricorn until November. Things can be very, very bleak and depressive, but you can't get fooled by that. You always have to choose your soul. So that's what this is saying, is like commit to this choice, right? I'm going to choose my soul. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to have faith because this is what's waiting for me, right? This is what's waiting for me. Okay. Is there anything else for the reflectors? I don't think so. Okay, everybody. That was a long haul. It's already almost dark here. Okay, but I enjoyed it. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to say too before I log off is that Jupiter is trining Venus all weekend. So that's supportive energy in terms of your relationships and what's right and true for you. So this is a time to just reflect. Funny, we're in the reflector part here. A time to reflect and be still and to really like just take a pause. That's what the 52 is saying. Like just take a pause and look to your future and look to your future. Because we've been in the stress mode. That's the shadow of the 52. You don't need to act. That's just the stress on the planet that we're feeling, the fear on the planet. You don't need to act. So take time to reflect, be still, go out in nature, go out with your journal, right? And just start to look at your future. Look at the future and what you want to manifest and who to let go of. We all have to let go here with this 18.3. We can't fix everybody, right? You've got to get that out of your mind. You can't fix anybody. That's just a big distraction of the ego. Bring all your focus back to yourself, Okay. And a good way to do that is join the online retreat, September 27th to the 29th. And this is going to be really, really healing. Magical things happen in the online retreat. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's discounted until September 22nd. And I'd love to see you there. And they're usually small groups of people, small groups in terms of that there's more like the me to student ratio is good, right? So I can get to spend time on your chart, right? So it's well worth the money. So keep that in mind and go to your strategy and authority if it's correct for you or not. Okay. So have a great weekend and I will see you in the next video. Okay. Sat Nam Aloha, everybody. Bye-bye.